What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. You guys can see the title and some people are probably freaking out. Could the San Jose Sharks make a big move? Could they be trading off one of their big names? We're going to look into these rumors. Again, these are just suggestion rumors from pieces like Spectre's Hockey. He takes information from all the best, reliable news sources and puts it into an article. A lot of these guys who are in these articles are guys that have predicted trades before, who at least know what the market's going to be like. So we all know the NHL trade deadline is coming up very soon. And the San Jose Sharks are in a position that I don't think a lot of people expected them to be in. Now, they're having a rough season. They're not exactly even in the wild card race right now. So, looking at their record, in 50 games played, they're 21-25-4 with 46 points. The first place Vegas Golden Knights in the wild card position have 57 points. So there's a bit of a gap there. And with teams like Arizona, who added a guy like Taylor Hall, Vegas is always looking to do stuff. They just fired their coach, Gerard Gallant. That was a huge shocker. Lots of teams, even Winnipeg, they can somehow get Big Buff back in the lineup. There's just teams that are above them that are probably going to end up getting back into the race. But I'm just not sure San Jose can do it. If we're looking at their stats right now, Logan Couture, of course, is going to be out for a really long time. I think it's 6 to 8 weeks. He was on my fantasy team, and I just cringed. I'm like, oh my goodness, please don't do this. But I feel terrible for the guy. I know he's going to be out for a really long time. So that obviously hurts for them. Erik Karlsson, a guy that we'll be talking about a little bit, has 36 points in 49 games played. Kane has 35 and 47. Hurdle, 35 and 46. Burns, 36 and 50, of course. They've got lots of guys that can put up points. Meyer, 31 and 50 games. But before we get to all the players, and we just need to look at what the rumors are. So Bruce Garrick of the Ottawa Sun, or Garrich, however you pronounce it, I don't want to be disrespectful, reports that there's word that the San Jose Sharks GM Doug Wilson is embarrassed about the possibility of the first-round pick that they gave up to acquire Erik Karlsson could turn into a lottery selection. Now, at the time of this trade, I think myself and a lot of other hockey fans were like, oh my god, Erik Karlsson just got traded. The Sharks didn't give up a ton. What's going on here? Now, I don't know if he could predict the future or if their team just looked at their roster and thought, okay, something's not going to go right here. Our stats are showing that the Sharks aren't going to look too good. This pick could be a good possibility that we can have a good pick come out of it, like a lottery pick. I doubt that happened, but let's just say Ottawa GM and their staff is probably going, yeah, we knew that this was going to happen. I'm sure that's what they're saying, but nobody would have expected this. Let's be real here. All kidding aside, this could get really interesting. The fact that they're literally they're in 7th in the wild card spot. The only teams below them right now are Anaheim and Los Angeles. And boy, those teams are having pretty terrible seasons. And San Jose is knocking on the door of being right there with them. So there's been a lot of rumors around what they're going to do next. And there's a possibility that Doug Wilson's going out there looking for a first-round pick to kind of make up for the fact that they, might have just given away a lottery ticket to the Ottawa Senators. Because again, at the time of the deal, it looked like a steal for San Jose, but they just haven't been able to put it together this season. Of course, they're always a good team. Considering the last few years, the Sharks have looked pretty good, but this year, I just don't know what's going on. So, like I said, as a result, he's going to be looking after a first-round pick. But this is the biggest thing here, is that what's brought up here in the Ottawa Sun is that they're going to have to sweeten the pot or try to make some sort of big deal, because the guys that have been surfaced in trade rumors like Brendan Dillon and Melker Karlsson, they're not going to get you a first-round pick. The reports out on Brendan Dillon is that a second-round pick gets it done and that trade happens. Melker Karlsson, I haven't heard too much about what his market would be like, but it's definitely not going to be a first. So Garrett speculates teams could call about Meyer, Hurdle, and Brent Burns. Now, here's the thing. I don't believe that the Sharks are in any rush to trade any of these guys. But with the right package, I'm almost wondering if the Sharks are considering it. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking there's no way they couldn't do that, because after making such a huge deal, after getting Karlsson, after acquiring pieces, after getting good contracts to fill in for your roster, how could you go ahead now and sell off one of your big names, especially a Brent Burns? Could you imagine what would happen in San Jose if they got rid of a Brent Burns. And of course, a lot of people were already mad about Pavelski not being on the team anymore. They brought back Patrick Marleau. He's done decent for them. Of course, Jumbo Joe is still there. But people are claiming that maybe Lou Lamoriello, who's looking for a defenseman, could be giving Wilson a call. Now, here's the thing. The article says should give Wilson a call. Now, let's just look at some of the names here, like I mentioned before. Meyer, Hurdle, and Burns. Now, I brought it up before. These guys are towards the top of their their stat sheet here. Hurdle has, like I said, 35 and 46 games played. This is a guy that definitely could improve teams substantially. But again, it just doesn't make a ton of sense to me for the Sharks, who are not a very good team right now, to sell off these guys and just start over after already going out there and acquiring Erik Karlsson and holding on to him long term. Then you got Brent Burns, 32 points in 50 games played, also on a big contract. I don't exactly understand, unless there's a massive package going the other way that would help San Jose improve right away. I just don't see how that works. And Timo Meier, man, he's been real good. 31 and 50 games played, like I mentioned before, and all those guys can score goals. Even though Burns is a defenseman, he's pretty much another forward out there. Now, this is what I want to, put the attention towards right now. If you look at the roster at the San Jose Sharks, they've got a lot of really talented forwards. Of course, they're dealing with some injury trouble right now, and they've got a lot of talented defensemen on the back end, and even their older players are producing for them pretty decently. Like Patrick Marleau, 17 points in 46 games played. Thornton, 19 points in 50 games played. These are depth guys. Marleau's at least scoring some goals. He's got 8. Thornton's got 17 assists. Like, at least they're doing stuff. They're good depth. Like, if you look at this team, you think, boy, this Sharks team has a lot of talent. But then you look at the goaltending. And this is the biggest problem. Aaron Dell and Martin Jones haven't been good this year. Martin Jones has been somebody that had such a high ceiling a few years ago, and he just kept dropping off. And it's unfortunate, because I am a fan of Martin Jones. I actually think he's quite good, but not this year, and he's kind of fallen off. But 32 games played for Martin Jones. He's 13-16 and 2 OT losses, and his goals against average is 3.22. And his save percentage is .891. That's brutal. Like, that's not good. That's their starting goaltender. Aaron Dell, 22 games played, 8, 9, and 2, with a 2.90 goals against average, so slightly better there, and a .909 save percentage. So Aaron Dell is outperforming Martin Jones, but if they had a solid goaltender who could start for them, give them 40 or 50 starts, and have a league average save percentage, the San Jose Sharks are a much better team. Now, they're going to have... There's some players that have had a bit of scoring trouble, and maybe you expect a little bit more out of some of your stars, but I think that they've been putting up some decent numbers. And again, they are going through some injury trouble right now. But solid league average goaltending, and I forget who said it. It might have even been Steve Dangle during one of their podcasts. Solid league average goaltending puts the Sharks in a playoff position, if you ask me. Just based off the fact that this team is way too talented to just now all of a sudden have to, go out and sell the farm. I think that they should focus, okay, you want to trade Melker Karlsson, you want to trade Brendan Dillon just to acquire a good pick or two, like maybe Dillon gets you a second. Let's say, let's look at Melker Karlsson's numbers. He's got 7 points in 46 games played. Maybe he gets you a fourth, you attach something else to him, maybe a late draft pick, try to swap picks. You acquire a couple assets for yourself, some picks to at least, get yourself some more depth options. And a second-round pick for Dillon would be pretty solid, if you ask me. He's a good all-around defenseman. He doesn't put up a ton of points, but he's physical, and a lot of teams would be interested, much like the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are having trouble on their blue line right now. But, there's no need to go out there and sell the farm. I really don't believe it makes a ton of sense for the Sharks to do something like that. Go out there and focus on acquiring a goaltender for the future. I mean, look, Georgiev with the Rangers, if you want to make a splash, maybe you go out there and acquire this guy and hope that he's the future, and you figure out maybe Jones is a backup option, or you trade him away somewhere. Hopefully, maybe you keep Dell as a backup because he has decent numbers. You're hoping for just below league average for him as well, just so that way he's at least competing, because he's doing well. but like not good enough for him to be a starter full time for the Sharks. So I don't know. If I'm the Sharks, I know you're in a tough spot. It would really suck if that pick turns into a lottery pick and it blows up in your face, because Ottawa is going to have some good picks this year, because they're not exactly the greatest team either. But you know, they also have a pick that could turn into a lottery pick because of how bad the Sharks are playing. So we'll have to see what happens. I just don't believe it makes a ton of sense to sell the farm right now. So leave me your comments down below. What will the Sharks do? If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. Let's get to 7,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys as always, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. What will the Sharks do next? Peace.